soft freezing kernel. In this presentation, we are going to be producing drawings using Prota Steel 2022, just as you can see, and we will be editing these drawings successfully in this same program, Protasteel, and after which we will export the drawings to AutoCAD, and then we will scale the drawing for ease of dimensioning. Okay, so in the previous lesson, we were able to carry out police connections and arch connections for columns and beams. Okay, and some of these braces, but I will be taking us through how we can be able to run connections on these roof braces, and as well I'll be navigating us through the Model Explorer so that we carry out some important settings before we actually start creating the drawing. After which we will look at the detailing items and then its functions and how we can use it to carry out our detailing successfully. So let's get started. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Alright, so to run our connections, for instance, these two roof brace angle iron meeting right there, if you want to connect them together with the beam rafter right there, you get to where we have the brace connections in the micros gallery, and then you have to expand these brace connections, this one. So we want to use a bolted gusset plate. Okay, so you select the option by left clicking on it, and then the first member you select should be the beam, which is the primary member, and then select the two angle iron, right click, and then you see that the brace has been fixed successfully and is being connected just like this. If you really want this stiffener, alright, if you really want this stiffener, you can select it just as it is and delete it up. Alright, so the same thing is applicable here at this point of intersections of these two braces. You can as well be able to run a connection here. So you just click on this bolted gusset plate, connection, select the main member and these two other member, right click, and it will be connected just like this. And if you check very well, you will actually notice that this connection is not model at all. Okay, so what you will do, zoom closely to the micro, which is this one, double click on the micros. So once you double click on it, it's going to bring up a dialog. So a dialog will just come up just like this. Okay, so in this dialog, what you have to do in these provisions, key in 100 right there. So after which you click on the applied right there, so you can see how it's been shaped now and trimmed successfully. Click on the OK options. Now if you look at it, it is more model as compared to the previous connections. Okay, so this is how you carry out your roof braces. I just want to show us that successfully. Okay, the next thing we'll be looking at, I want to be navigating us through the Model Explorer. Mind you, the same method is applicable to all of these vertical braces, alright? All these ones. Okay, so coming to the Model Explorer, this is the 3D, which is what we want, the stage we are now. Okay, so over to this story F, simply means the foundation story. Alright, so if you click here, you have the foundations layout just like this. Okay, if you come to story 1, you will also have the level of the story 1 where you will see actually the stanchions and the pedestal. Alright, so all of this will be included in the drawings. Alright, so if you come over to story 2 right here, you can see it has to do with the roof general arrangement. But if you look very well, you notice that not all the roof members are actually showing because of the reference level, okay, of the environment. So we are going to be setting the reference level of this environment so that we can be able to see all of these roof members. Okay, all of the area of the roof will be showing. So how do we do that? Double click on the blank space to have this view property dialog just like this. Okay, so after which where you see up minus and up plus and down minus, you change that value to 0 right there. Okay, so we have made it unlimited by changing it to 0. The reference level is now unlimited. Click on the apply options and okay. So you can now see the whole area of the roof just like this. So we require this as well in our drawing. Okay, so let's get back to the 3D. All right, at this point we want to actually start to create our drawings. Okay, but I believe strongly that we understand the difference between the part drawing and assembly drawing. Okay, part drawing has to do with the member itself, while assembly drawing has to do with other members, like this gusset plate that is being welded to the stanchion. Okay, so once you're producing a kind of assembly drawing, like if I select this, select assembly, you can see all of these members, including the base plate, is being selected successfully. If I right click and select show selected only, you will also see that it is only the assembly drawings that will actually show. Okay, these options. Alright, so if you right click, shift this option, so this is the assembly member. Okay, assembly member will consist of the stanchions and other plates, okay, that is being welded to it. So if you are producing a drawing, this is what you are going to be having as your assembly members drawing, just like this. Okay, so I will right click and then click on show all. Okay, so for single part drawing, if I select this, now I right click and then select this show only selected, I'll have this. So this is a single part drawings. Okay, single part member. All right, so I just want you to understand the difference between these two. All right, so when we will actually get into the drawing, we will really understand what we are doing. Okay, so at this point now, we want us to actually navigate to these drawing options. You see these drawing options, you double click right here, and then this is the drawing model area. If you also click on this drawings manager right there, it will take you to these provisions. Now in these provisions, you have only the story F drawings, you have also the story 1 drawings and story 2 drawings. Okay, so from here, if you double click in this, it's going to produce that drawing and that story. So click right here now, so you can now see that we have this. Okay, so actually we have set that, okay, in the we have set to actually see the whole of this roof area previously, but we did not save the settings. That is why we are still having this. Okay, so we can't now close this. Click in these provisions, yes, options to close that, and also close the drawing models. Double click here again. Okay, so we have this intact as 0, 0, which is how it's supposed to be. Click on the OK and get back to the drawings again. Click in this provisions and then enable this again. Let's say we open the story F drawings right there. We have this as the foundations. Okay, so now if you want to produce this story 2 drawing, right click on it and then click on the create view. So this will create a view drawings for us just like this. So we can now have our dimension, our foundation drawing, and as well as the roof area drawing successfully just like this. So by the drawing you see a viewport. Okay, so if you hover your cursor on this viewport, you will notice that your cursor will change. Once it changes to this sign, you can be able to adjust this viewport successfully. Okay, once it changes to this sign, you can be able to move this viewport, okay, from one place to another just like this. Okay, all right, so we proceed. If you want to dimension this, like as you can see this roof plan now without dimension, if you want to dimension it, you have to actually use this horizontal dimensions or vertical dimension depending on the direction you are going. If you are going horizontally, you pick that one and then you come over to these provisions and you have to get a point snapped. Okay, and picked that point, take it to the next point. All right, you will have to zoom closely to be able to get it right, just like this, and then you continue to pick the point to actually dimensions this roof plan successfully. So you can see the spacings of the stanchions at 66 meters right there. It's been dimensioned successfully. So it is very, very important you carry out the dimensioning and other important editing in Prota Steel, as some of these things you may not necessarily be able to do them in AutoCAD, but I will show us what we can do successfully so that we can be able to carry out editing at ease. So after which you have to right click to place the dimension just like this. So this is what we are to do on this particular interface. So we click on the closed right there, yes, options, and then you come over and close this drawing module. So for us to start to create drawings, there are methods you have to consider. Okay, so for the stanchions at the extreme end of the width of the structure, like this one, this stanchion, and this one, okay, and this other two, they are the same stanchion. So you can create one drawing for it, and then use that one drawings to actually represent the rest of the three. Okay, for the intermediate stanchion, the same thing is applicable. You can create one drawing for this one, and then use it for this, and the rest of the intermediate stanchions that are actually of the same properties. Okay, the same thing is applicable to the roof rafter. So let us produce a drawings for this stanchion, this one. Okay, so before you produce a drawing, you have to number all the members in the structure. So you do the window over the structure just like this. Give it some time to actually get the whole member selected. So once the members are selected like this, you come over to where you have drawings and reports and select perform, numbering, and then first options. Click right there, click on applied and start numbering. So this is going to number this structure, this structural members successfully. So it's completed. Okay, options, and then click on applied and then closed. At this point, we can now start to create drawings. But before then, let us look at detailing items. So for instance, we want to get the detail of this gusset plate, how we connected this angle iron successfully. You get the gusset plate itself selected. Click on the detailing item manager, and then you have to give it a name. Let's call it gusset plate right there. Okay, so click on the add options to add that successfully. The next thing is to select the members that consist of these connections. Okay, so click on the select object right there. I will select this one, and this one. After which right click to place the section box for the detail items. So actively we have the top left and front view. You can activate other view like the back view, right and bottom, it depends. Alright, so after we click on the plus sign to add the 3D view of this, okay, which is very important. Click on the close options. I use this to show us how we can actually make use of these detailing items, and we are supposed to use it in almost all the connection points to actually show the 3D of the connections. Okay, so I will show us how to bring up the drawings of these. Okay, so the next thing we will be looking at, let's select this column, right click, we want to generate a drawing for this, and it's going to be an assembly drawings. Okay, so go to create drawings, assembly drawings right here. So this is going to create for us an assembly drawing which is successful now. So how do you see the drawing? Go to drawings manager. So you see this is the drawings. Okay, now these drawings we have to select it and rename it as intermediate stanchion. Okay, or we can just write columns. columns at middle, just like this. Click on the OK option to have this. So with this name now, you now know where the columns is located. Double click on it right there. Yes, options to generate the drawings. Altogether 19 items is there. So once you get the drawings generated successfully, just like this, so you can now see the drawings of that stanchion successfully. So this drawings consists of too many sections, as you can see. So you can actually move and arrange these drawings here. Okay, so if I do a window over this, I can have that selected, move my cursor or over my cursor on the boundary, and then it changes to this move symbols. I'll click hold and move this to this point, and also I can rearrange this. Okay, and as well move this out from there. I'll take my time to make sure I move all of these, arrange them in a way that it will be fine for me successfully, just like this. Okay, I want to be explaining these drawings and as well editing this. So let me first of all arrange this drawing first, just like this. You can see how I'm moving it. You have to select it and then hold it. I can select all of this by doing a window over it, move my cursor or over my cursor on the boundary to have this side, so I can move all at the same time to a particular locations as well. Okay, so over here I have this main drawing. You can see we are having CL, which is the column 19, 1 pieces. Okay, is required. So if you check very well, you notice a lot of sections. We have CC, we have A, and we have B sections successfully on this. These two sections are the ones you are seeing here, which also produce the legibility of most of the plates. Okay, as it is being connected to the stanchion successfully. All right. So if you also check very well, you have this sign. This is called the wedge length. Okay, the wedge length. So you have too many of them right there. So what I normally do is you have to delete some of these and use one for all. Okay, so to delete it, you can easily use delete on the keyboard and then yes options to get that up. Okay, because this one is the longest wedge length, so you leave the longest one and delete all of this short wedge length, just like this. Okay, so we are now having 21 millimeters. All right, so we go by this. The next thing we have to look at, let's move this one, reposition this as well. Now let us expand this boundary like this. We want to work on the dimensions. Click on this and move this dimension outward. The reason is because we really want it to clash with the sections. Okay, so over your cursor on the boundary until it changes to this sign, move it upward and select this dimension, take it upward, just like this. All right, so we will take this just like this. We also need to expand this. All right, so you just have to over your cursor on this to change to this side. So you drag, expand that. Same thing applicable in these directions. Drag to expand because we need to push this dimension outward, just like this. Okay, so having done this now, the next thing we'll be looking at is to edit this text. So select the boundary, double click on the boundary, have this. So with this now, we can come to the general tab at first and then we give it a name as column. This column has a pack mark. I'll also explain to us pack mark 52, which is P/52. So we just have to key in there and then type column P/52 right there. Alright, so once you get this done, okay, come over to labeling. So we want to place that text outside of the boundary and not inside. So you click on these provisions to locate it there, and then you have to come to the text settings. Click here. For the font, we may be using 5 in this case, 5 millimeters. Okay, we need the scale, so we activate the scale, and then the scale text is going to be 4 millimeters. Click on the OK options, and by the time you apply there, you can see the text come off over here. So you can now see. So the number required now, what we have here is just 1 pieces, but it's not 1 pieces. you have to calculate the total numbers of the columns at the middle and then key it in here, and that's all. Okay, so the same editing we did here, we are supposed to do in these provisions, in these sections as well. So for this one, you can double click on that, come over here, and then look at it outside. This text height, we will make it 5 millimeters, and then activate the scale, reduce the text height of the scale also to 4 millimeters right there. Click on OK options and apply it. So you have this, okay, but we need to add a kind of a section's name to it. Like we may come over here, you add that through these provisions. You can call it view AA. Then you can just add details right there. View AA details, apply it right there. Okay, right. So we have something of this kind. So the same thing is applicable to these ones. Okay, for this is the section CC. All right, so you only have to take time to do this naming, okay, and adjusting your dimensions, and then you are good to go. After which we have to close this now, and then click on the yes option to save it successfully. You will come over to these provisions. We are only seeing the column at middle and the stories, all right, which is the drawing we have for now. So I want to close this. The same way we produce a drawing here, we also used to produce the rafter, the beam rafter drawings. Okay, so if I select that beam rafter drawing, right click and then click on select assembly, also right click and then click on show all the selected, you will see the assembly drawings just like this. Okay, so you can see now we have the stabilized connections just like this to the beam rafter, and this is the arch plate connections just like this. So if we produce drawing for this is all of what we will be having. Those plates will be named and given a path mark which we will use to identify which is the plate successfully. Right click and then click on the show all right there. So the next thing we will be looking at, we want to cut a sections across this grid line A. So we can do that while in the 3D, or we can get to the foundation story. Okay, mind you, we cut it along AA. So what you need to do, navigate to the view tab right there, and then you come over to where you are view by 2 points. These options, click right there, zoom closely to this, and then you pick the first point. You come over to this other end, zoom closely as well, and then you have to pick this point. So once you pick that, this will create sections just like this. Okay, so for these sections now we have to carry out the dimensioning of these sections, but you can't do that here. Okay, so now we have the sections named as a new view over here. You can see it here. So double click in the black space, so you have a view property dialog. You can give it a name as section AA, just like this. Click on the apply it right there, and okay, so you have a section just like this. So if you want to have the drawing of these sections, you can double click and navigate to the drawings manager. You can choose to open the story F drawing by double clicking on it. So once it's open just like this, you can select this section now, right click and create view just like this. So you have the sections that we created just like this. So having this section here, you can do so many things now to the sections, like dimensioning and giving it a name, right? Or give it a name like section AA. You can just double click on that. You see section AA there, copy this right there, take it to this place. You can place it here as well, and then over here is being activated. Place it outside, activate this, and then you work on the text height right there. We can take it to the 6 and then activate the scale of these drawings. Okay, and also you can also change the text height of the scale to be 5 millimeters. click on OK options and apply it right there, and then you have this. Okay, now for the dimensioning, let's say one dimension from one roof pull lines connections to another. So we use this one. This is the general dimensions. Click that. So we navigate to this point, pick this point at the first point. This is the first pull lines right there. This is the second pull lines right there. Third pull lines, fourth pull lines. So we just continue to, pick the pull lines point, so we get the accurate and exact dimension. If you notice, when we actually place this pull line, it was at 1 meters apart. So this 1 meters is what we are having right there. Okay, so if you move your hand upward just like this, right click, you see it placed successfully. So we skip this point. That's why having 2 meters right there. So all of this is just to show you how and what you are supposed to do successfully. Okay, so having done this, now we have the drawings and we have the roof right here. I will be taking us to how we can take these drawings to AutoCAD and be able to adjust these drawings using a Prota Steel detailing template successfully. But before then, let's us get rid of that by interrupting it. Get back to the drawing manager and open this columns drawings right there. So I will be explaining 1 or 2 things for us. So if you zoom closely to these drawings, you will notice you're having P/39, P/34, and the rest of all the P/ some value as you are seeing here. These are called part numbers. So it is this part number that you can use to actually identify which of the plate is here. Okay, so once you see this plate, you see every plate carries a part number. Okay, so with this part number, you can be able to look at the plate and its positions. Okay, where it's been welded to the stanchion successfully. Alright, again, for the detailed drawings, you can bring it in here, or you can bring it in at a story F, wherever you have drawings open like this. Okay, but at first you have to activate the 3D view. So you select and create 3D view. If you do not create 3D view just like this, you won't be able to get your details that you created. So click on the detail items, and it is going to create that detail that we just created for us. Alright, so it's processing it. So the detail is created successfully. That is why you see this 3D is very busy the way it is, because all of the members is also being generated, all the sections. Okay, so we wouldn't like it to be like this. You have to select this and then you select delete, click on delete on the keyboard, yes options, to get rid of that, yes options. But if you want to still bring it up, this can bring it just like this. Okay, so here is the detail that we actually created. So this is the 3D of that pull lines detail we created. Okay, so with this now you can be able to call it out, and then you give it a name and the number that it is in the structure. Okay, if there are other like 10 of these in the structure, you put it under it to show the number that is actually in the structure. Alright, so we get back by closing this. So the same thing we have here on the roof. We have it very busy like this, so when you want something of this kind, you have to delete this right there. Use delete on the keyboard. yes, options, and yes, again you can still bring that up just like this, which means we need to dimension this again. Okay, so over here cursor to have a move symbols to move that, and then we go to the horizontal dimension, after which we look at how we can export these few drawings we created and how to set the scale. Okay, how to set the scale to match the AutoCAD environment scale. Alright, so we pick these dimensions from that point. The point of the grid lines to another, just like this. Okay, alright, left click to place it. Okay, you can also dimension the second layers of dimension, which is from the end to end, just like this. So you left click to place it. You have about 42 meters width of the structure. Okay, so click on the closed options, yes, options to save, change to that. So after which you can get over to this. So we'll be sending story F. We'll also be sending the columns at middle to AutoCAD. So we'll get those two items selected. Click on the export, DSF export options. Click there. So it is actually navigating us to the directory, so we're saving it to the desktop. Select desktop, click on the OK options. So one of two items are there. So exporting is in progress, so we have to wait for some minutes. So the export is done. Click on the done options right there. So you have to close this window, close this window as well. Alright, so we minimize this. On this desktop we'll have this column at middle. We also have the story F. Okay, so we double click on that. So it's going to open those drawings in AutoCAD. Alright, so these are the drawings we exported. So having the drawing in AutoCAD, this is how the drawing normally looks. Alright, so let's bring in these other drawings, which is the story F. Double click right there. So let's expand this. See the drawings that you have. Okay, so I haven't gotten these drawings now. Here we need to get this protect detailing template. Alright, so this is the steel drawings, the foundations, the pedestals and the footings were detailed just like this. Okay, in this template. Alright, so with this template you wouldn't really need doing most of this. You have to just change its dimensions and make use of it. This is the floor slabs, and this is the split beam arrangement and the beam sections, just like this, everything, as well as the steel drawings and how it's being arranged in this protect steel detailing template. I have another steel drawings right here. Okay, so you can reference these drawings to arrange your own drawings. Again, this template will actually edit this work for you. This work you have here, this template will edit it because it has been programmed to actually edit the Prota Steel drawings Okay, so for instance, if I select, let me zoom closely and select some part of this drawings right there, like this one. I selected these ones. You can see the way this drawings looks like. You can see the way it looks now. Okay, I will right click and copy these drawings to clipboard, after which I come over to the Protasteel detailing template right there. So if I should paste this drawing here, I want to show you the difference between the two drawings. You see how tiny this drawing is? This is one of the work we are going to be doing. Subsequently, changing the scale to match with this scale successfully. But before then, zoom closely to these drawings. You can see the changes that have been made on these drawings. Now let's open this one. You see the way this one is. Go to the Prota Steel detailing template. You see the way this one is. Alright, so a lot has been made to this drawing successfully. So I'm just trying to show you the difference. Look at the way it is and this one. You can now see. Okay, so the same thing is applicable to all of these drawings here. For like this beam now, if you take it there, it's going to change it and edit it, both the text automatically. So just get this template. The links to get this template is in the descriptions of this video. Alright, so another thing we are going to be looking at is going to be how we can adjust the dimensions, most especially the dimensions of this layout. So if you check here, we are having 6 meters. Okay, we also have 3 meters here. Now if you take this drawing out to AutoCAD, let's for instance we highlight all of this. Let me show you something. You have to right click and then go to clipboard and copy that successfully. So having copied that to clipboard, we navigate to the Protasteel detailing template right there. So open it. Okay, we paste these drawings right, just like this. So you will notice that this drawing we are going to paste now is going to be very tiny. It's going to be very tiny, just like this. Let me paste and zoom it a little bit to the visibility so that we can actually see how this drawing looks. So how this drawing is just like this. So this is 6 meters. If I should use AutoCAD tool to dimension this now, you see what it's going to give to me. I say from this point to this point. See what I'm having, 86. You can see. So it now looks as though you cannot be able to dimension the Protasteel drawings. Okay, but I want to show you some settings we are going to be doing and scaling that will help us to be able to dimension this and get this 6,000 millimeters right there. So if you select all of these drawings, you make sure it is selected just like this, after which just type XC on the keyboard, XC on the keyboard, or you use the tool tab right here for the scale. Okay, so we have this for scale. This one is the same thing. So enter on the keyboard just like this. So now this is it says specify base point. So I will pick here to be my base point. So once you pick that, you see the drawing is already adjusting. So we will be referring to reference. So you can come down, you see a reference here. Pick the reference or type arrow on the keyboard. Enter for reference. So once you enter that for reference, you pick 2 points. Okay, I'll pick this 2 points, which is that's the first point, and this is the second point. I'll pick that point. So after picking these 2 points, I'll have to decide the length I wanted that 2 points to be. So I want the 2 point to be 6,000, just like this. So and I'll click on enter on the keyboard. So this drawing is going to be scaled. It is going to be scaled to that 2000, 6000 that I've set. Okay, so you can see how bigger this drawing is now. Let's try to do the dimension again. So you pick the linear dimensions, pick the first point, come here and pick the second point. So you notice we have 6000 right there. So this has been scaled successfully. So at this point, you can use your AutoCAD to do your dimensioning and editing on this drawing successfully. Okay, so over to this one that we have here. What you just have to do, all these dimensions are very correct, so we don't really need to dimension this again. So you just have to scale it. Type in XC after getting all selected, enter, and then pick a point right there and type 100, just like this, to have it scaled just like this. So with this, if you bring these two drawings now close to this, you will notice that it almost with the same scale with the ones. Okay, just like this. So this is how you carry out your scaling of your drawings to match AutoCAD environment. So if you get this template will help you to minimize the stress of editing of your steel drawings successfully. So here is what we have. If I should get back to the columns right there, let's say I copy this for instance. I'll right click and then I'll get to clipboard right there to copy that. I come over to the templates, I right click and then I also paste it here. So you can see how this drawing look like compared to this one. Alright, you can see it right there. So this template is going to be very useful for you. Okay, so in terms of arranging your drawings, you can check the order of arrangement. In terms of editing your drawing, it makes a lot of changes to your drawings successfully. Okay, so by the time you created the drawings of all the part of the structure successfully, what you just need to do, take them to this template to make all the necessary changes and start to do the necessary editing and the scaling just as I've done, in order for you to put your drawings in a title block just like this. Okay, so for the sections that we cut, I want to be showing us something similar to that and how we can cut other sections. So now we have something like this. Okay, for instance, if you copy this to clipboard, get back to the Protasteel detailing template right there, and then if I should zoom closely to this first drawings, the first drawings like this, and I paste, or I copy it, let's say paste it here, see how small it is, something like this. So this is a kind of a plate type. Okay, so if I should scale it up and then to 1100, sorry, you can see now it's bigger. So this is just the same thing with what you are seeing here. So having bring it up like this, you now have to label it. Okay, you label it, give it a name. Okay, like this plate now, you can call it plate type arrow, and then at every intersections of the braces you have this plate. So you count the numbers of the intersections where you have this plate, and then you put it under just the way it's been under here, like this one, Gusset plate. Okay, Gusset plate type Q, 8 number required. Alright, just like this. So this is how you will, or how you should be able to, tag all the plates and then give it a number successfully. Okay, so coming over to this, you just have to carry out all the necessary detailed drawings, right? And then you arrange it accordingly, just the way it is in this template. So this template is in the description of this video, the link, so you can just download and get it, then use it for your steel drawing. Although subsequently I'll be doing a full course on a complete detail, and that is going to be a course that we are going to actually enroll on our website successfully. So once that is ready, I'll also let us know. So stay tuned, stay connected as we bring the lesson to a stop here to see you in the next presentations. Bye for now.